Welcome to the audio press release, APR, powered by IBN. This original production delivers market and sector insights, as well as executive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 75-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Network Newswire presents why late-stage CNS oncology assets are becoming the hottest targets in biotech M&A. This article has been disseminated on behalf of Oncotelic Therapeutics Inc. and may include a paid advertisement. Biotech deal-making is increasingly defined by a clear strategic shift. Pharmaceutical companies are prioritizing de-risked late-stage assets with human clinical validation rather than speculative early-stage programs. After years of capital flowing into preclinical platforms with uncertain timelines, investors and acquirers are gravitating toward programs with established safety and efficacy data that can accelerate commercialization pathways. This evolving landscape naturally places companies such as Oncotelic Therapeutics Inc, OTCQB, OTLC, which holds multiple clinical stage and late-stage programs across oncology and central nervous systems, CNS indications, into focus as strategic assets aligned with current M&A priorities. The company just announced key advancements in its global intellectual property portfolio supporting OT-101, its proprietary TGF-β antisense therapeutic platform. The advancements strengthen protection across neurology, oncology, and central nervous system drug delivery designed to deliver drugs into the brain by getting through the blood-brain barrier. This M&A trend bolsters Oncotelic Therapeutics' position in the oncology and CNS sectors as the OTLC joins other companies focused on the space, including Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals Inc, MeiraGTx Holdings plc, Supernus Pharmaceuticals Inc, and Johnson & Johnson. Disclosure: this does not represent material news, partnerships, or investment advice. Central nervous system disorders such as brain cancer, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and other represent one of the largest and most challenging therapeutic categories in modern medicine. The convergence ends of CNS and oncology makes Oncotelic's update on expanding interpretational IP coverage for OT-101 even more impactful. Oncotelic Therapeutics' focus on delivery approaches relevant to CNS and oncology aligns with the industry's direction. Oncotelic Therapeutics' development of OT-101 demonstrates its advanced R&D capabilities and innovative repositioning approach by exploring applications across oncology indications supported by mechanistic rationale and prior clinical research. Oncotelic Therapeutics positions itself with a diversified portfolio spanning oncology-focused therapies, CNS indications, and delivery technologies. Big Pharma's shift toward proven assets. Biopharma deal-making has increasingly centered on external innovation, licensing, and acquisitions of assets that demonstrate clinical validation. Strategic analysis from McKinsey & Company describe continued reliance on partnerships and acquisitions to replenish pipelines as internal R&D productivity challenges persist. Similarly, Deloitte's Life Sciences M&A outlook highlights ongoing selectivity and capital discipline, encouraging companies to prioritize assets with clear development paths and measurable progress toward commercialization. The strategic pivot reflects economic realities. Drug development timelines remain long and costly, and investors have increasingly favored programs that demonstrate human safety or efficacy signals. Late-stage assets can reduce scientific uncertainty because clinical data provides clearer insight into safety profiles, dosing parameters, and potential regulatory pathways. As a result, companies nearing pivotal studies or late clinical phases may attract greater interest from acquirers seeking faster paths to market entry. Oncology and CNS programs have emerged as particularly strategic targets within this framework. Oncology continues to dominate pharmaceutical pipelines due to large commercial markets and ongoing innovation, while CNS disorders represent some of the most significant unmet medical needs globally. Assets that bridge these areas may offer differentiated positioning, especially when they address complex biological pathways or delivery challenges that have historically limited therapeutic success. Platforms supported by existing human data also carry valuation advantages. Programs that demonstrate clinical activity provide tangible milestones that investors can evaluate, reducing uncertainty compared with early discovery stage platforms. This dynamic is contributing to growing attention toward companies holding clinical stage portfolios rather than single preclinical assets. Oncotelic Therapeutics fits the strategic profile through its clinical stage pipeline focused on oncology and CNS-related targets. A clinical stage biopharmaceutical developer, the company is pursuing therapies for cancer and other serious conditions. Oncotelic's programs, including those targeting TGF-β signaling and delivery-focused approaches, align with the broader industry emphasis on validated mechanisms and diversified development strategies. CNS oncology markets are converging. Central nervous systems disorders represent one of the largest and most challenging therapeutic categories in modern medicine. The World Health Organization reports that neurological conditions are now among the leading causes of disability and illness worldwide, affecting more than 1 in 3 people globally. The growing burden of neurodegenerative disease has intensified the need for innovative treatments capable of addressing complex biological mechanisms. Alzheimer's disease illustrates the scale of this unmet need. The Alzheimer's Association estimates that millions of Americans currently live with this disease and that the economic burden continues to rise sharply, reflecting both healthcare costs and societal impact. Parkinson's disease shows similar trends, with prevalence expected to increase as populations age, reinforcing the long-term importance of CNS therapeutic innovation. The intersection between oncology and CNS research is becoming increasingly relevant because many biological pathways operate across disease categories. Immune regulation, inflammation, and signaling pathways involved in tumor progression can also influence neurological disease processes. These overlaps create opportunities for therapeutic platforms that can be developed across multiple indications, potentially expanding commercial reach while leveraging shared scientific insights. From an investment perspective, cross-indication platforms may offer strategic advantages by enabling companies to pursue multiple markets simultaneously. Pharmaceutical companies evaluating acquisitions often look for mechanisms that extend beyond a single indication, as this can increase potential return on investment and support lifecycle management strategies. Oncotelic Therapeutics' development strategy reflects this convergence by focusing on pathways such as TGF-β modulation, which has been extensively studied in oncology and immune regulation contexts. Research documents the role of TGF-β signaling in cancer biology and tumor microenvironment regulation. By targeting mechanisms relevant across multiple disease categories, the company aligns with a broader trend toward integrated therapeutic platforms. New milestones expand long-term potential. This convergence makes Oncotelic's update on expanding international IP coverage for OT-101, its proprietary TGF-β antisense therapeutic platform, even more impactful. The company, along with Sapo Bioscience, noted that the platform, quote, strengthens protection across neurology, oncology, and central nervous system drug delivery, end quote. OT-101 has multiple prior clinical trials conducted in various oncology indications, including glioblastoma and pancreatic cancers. The compound was also investigated for additional applications in acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS, and COVID-19-related inflammatory conditions. Building on its established clinical foundation in oncology, the company is advancing OT-101 as a broader central nervous system-capable therapeutic platform supported by targeted delivery technologies and expanded intellectual property coverage. The update noted that in Australia, the company has received allowed patent claims explicitly covering OT101 for the treatment of Parkinson's disease, while in China and Germany, utility model patents have been granted that provide device-level protection for continuous intracranial infusion technologies relevant to CNS therapeutics. Quote, collectively, these IP developments establish an integrated OT101 CNS commercialization platforms, combining therapeutic use claims in neurology with granted delivery device protection, end quote, stated the company, which believes this expanded IP estate enhances OT101's strategic value and supports future development, partnering, and commercialization efforts across oncology and neurological indications. Quote, OT101 has a well-established clinical foundation, including prior clinical trials in multiple oncology indications, including glioblastoma, and these new IP milestones significantly expand its long-term potential, said Oncotelic CEO Dr. Wang Tru. By securing Parkinson's disease claims in Australia and strengthening CNS delivery protection in China and Germany, we are building a globally defensible platform that supports both therapeutic use and delivery while positioning the company for strategic partnerships and long-term shareholder value creation. End quote. Drug delivery emerges as strategic differentiator. Drug delivery has become an increasingly important focus area within biotech innovation, particularly for CNS therapies. The blood-brain barrier represents a significant biological obstacle, preventing many drugs from reaching effective concentrations within brain tissue. Peer-reviewed research highlights that this barrier can limit therapeutic success even when a drug demonstrates strong activity in preclinical models. Because of these challenges, delivery technologies capable of improving targeting of bioavailability are gaining strategic importance. Researchers increasingly view delivery systems as enabling technologies that can unlock previously inaccessible therapeutic pathways. Rather than viewing delivery as secondary to molecular discovery, investors and developers are recognizing it as a critical component of therapeutic success. Regulatory agencies also acknowledge the importance of delivery innovation. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration maintains specific frameworks for evaluating combination products that integrate drug and device components, underscoring the role administration methods play in clinical outcomes. From a strategic standpoint, companies developing delivery technologies alongside therapeutic mechanisms may offer differentiated value propositions. Improved delivery can enhance safety, reduce systemic toxicity, or increase efficacy by concentrating treatment within target tissues. Oncotelic Therapeutics' focus on delivery approaches relevant to CNS and oncology aligns with the industry direction. By emphasizing methods that may enhance therapeutic targeting and overcome biological barriers, the company operates within a segment increasingly viewed as a critical bottleneck and therefore a strategic value driver in modern drug development. Platform repositioning drives capital efficiency. Biotech strategy increasingly emphasizes capital efficiency, and one emerging approach involves repositioning clinically validated mechanisms into additional therapeutic indications. Rather than starting from entirely new discovery programs, companies are expanding existing platforms into adjacent markets where scientific rationale already exists. The strategy can reduce risk because safety data and mechanistic understanding from earlier studies may inform future development pathways. Repositioning also allows companies to maximize the value of prior investments by generating multiple clinical opportunities from a single biological target or technology platform. The TGF-β pathway provides a strong example of this approach. Extensive scientific literature describes its role in tumor growth, immune modulation, and inflammation, creating opportunities for therapies targeting this pathway across multiple diseases. Advances in understanding tumor microenvironment biology have renewed interest in therapeutic strategies to modulate TGF-β signaling. Oncotelic Therapeutics' development of OT101, which targets TGF-β2 mRNA, illustrates a repositioning approach by exploring applications across oncology indications supported by mechanistic rationale and prior clinical research. Studies investigating OT-101 in combination with standard therapies reflect ongoing efforts to expand its potential clinical applications. Platform repositioning may also enhance strategic flexibility for potential partners or acquirers. Companies capable of adapting mechanisms to multiple disease contexts can respond to evolving market conditions or regulatory landscapes, increasing long-term development optionality. Diversified pipelines reduce binary investment risk. Historically, biotech investment has often centered on single-asset companies, where success or failure depended heavily on clinical outcome. However, diversified pipelines are increasingly viewed as advantageous because they distribute risk across multiple programs and timelines. A multi-asset strategy can provide resilience during clinical development, as setbacks in one program may be offset by progress in others. This diversification can also create multiple value inflection points, attracting investors seeking reduced exposure to binary outcomes while maintaining exposure to breakthrough innovation. From M&A perspective, diversified pipelines may increase strategic appeal because acquirers gain optionality. Single acquisition can provide access to multiple therapeutic candidates, allowing pharmaceutical companies to prioritize programs based on evolving market needs or scientific progress. As the biotech industry continues to emphasize late-stage validation, platform versatility, and capital efficiency, companies combining diversified clinical programs with differentiated scientific approaches may increasingly attract attention from strategic partners and acquirers seeking to balance innovation with reduced development risk. Oncotelic Therapeutics positions itself within the diversified model through a portfolio spanning oncology-focused therapies, CNS indications, and delivery technologies. The company's pipeline includes multiple assets at varying development stages, which may reduce reliance on a single program outcome while supporting broader strategic positioning. The audio press release, APR, is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. The owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production do not hold any position in and do not intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources, but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please read IBN's entire disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Thank you again for listening to the audio press release APR powered by IBN.